some are getting ready. Particularly, as you know, Triple O Dynasty is around the corner. I saw one lady confirm that she's going to be making that show. She just confirmed just about a couple of days ago, and a couple others I'm looking forward to. So we're start, my man. We're gonna start with women's bodybuilding. My man Josh is going to be an announcer. So Josh, who's first?
Oh, well, Empire Nation. She brings pizzazz. She's savvy, and she has a unique look to her. She's a four-time Miss Olympia, 2024 Rising Phoenix champion. Her name is Angela Yo.
Angela Yo. Big fan of Miss Yo. She started following me on my IG. And you know,
Oh,
Angela has
nice.
been Angela has been pro since 2020, and she made her pro debut. Actually, it was 2022. She made a pro debut. You know, Angela's from Ohio. You know, Ohio is like the Buckeye State. That is a very popular basketball state. You have the Ohio Buckeyes there and quite a few other teams. Angela is an amazing lady. She has a great look to her. I know back in 2024, she beat my girl, Andrea Shaw, for the Rising Phoenix Championship. You know, she was, I think for a couple of years, she was first runner up, but then finally to win the title. Congratulations. I was kind of heartbroken because, you know, it was my girl, was supposed to be her straight fifth title that year. But then this happened, no snubbing on her nose. There goes Jake. Yo, Jake! Yo, Jake! I want that money. I want that gun. I can't help it every time I see them. And she's an amazing lady. This year she didn't do as fair as well like she has before. She's dropped down to fourth place. For the last 3 years, she was first runner-up in the Olympia for the Miss Olympia title at the Olympia, and now she is dropped down. So this affects her plans. Now, I remember somebody telling me that for a long time there used to be whoever was the winner of the Rising Phoenix, they are forever now, you know, able to compete at the Olympia without doing shows. People like Helen Trevino, who just retired, Margie Martin, Leah Popa, you know. But they said that because I'm not sure if it's certain or confirmed, that said that the rules have changed because women's bodybuilding back at the Olympia now, she now probably has to re-qualify for the Olympia. So what you guys think of lovely Miss Yo?
Ah, man. I've been looking at her IG. She's definitely cooking up something, my man. And she's coming. She's coming. Yeah, she's definitely got all the tools.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. What you think about Kale?
Well, I don't really follow her too much like that. Like I don't be on her page like that. I mean, I know she almost what she won the Rising Phoenix last year, and but she didn't win the Miss Olympia.
Well,
You
she
know,
won the Rise of Phoenix back in 2024. Last year, they changed the format of the Rise of Phoenix. It was an open show. She wasn't there that year. She was there
oh, okay, all right, but
because,
she won it. Yeah, she won it. Not too long ago.
yeah, it's been like,
But I don't really follow her like I don't really be up on her like that. Though. But she good luck to her. That's all I could say.
yeah. Like I said, I'm a fan of Angela. I think she had a great physique, a great look to her. Can you believe this lady is the same age as Andrea? She's in her early 40s, and to maintain this physique, this body, competing with competitors who are much younger than you, and even though she took fourth place last year at the Olympia, I think if she does do a show, what show she can do. I mean, she won her qualification for her first Olympia back in 2022 at the Chicago Pro, but now the Chicago Pro don't carry women's bodybuilding anymore. She lives in Ohio. New York would have been a good show if they had women's bodybuilding. Maybe she might do Toronto. It's all depending if she still has that qualification, being the 2024 Rising Phoenix champion that allows her to get that bye just to compete the show. But what I heard from some people is that because they're not doing that anymore, that she probably has to requalify. Whichever show that works for her, I think it would be probably she's coming in as a top three contender for almost 3 or 4 years, and even if she's top five competitor, I most definitely feel like she's going to win. So I am a fan of Angela. It's just she's a beautiful physique, amazing.
Hmm.
You know, she's very into the goth. If you follow her on social media, but yeah, she's just so much fun. I appreciate that she started following me on IG. So next up, my man, dropped it. Who's next on our list?
Next on our list, Empire Nation. Are you ready to see 2021 Toronto Pro winner? She also made some appearances at the New York Pro and the Olympia. Are you ready to see Mela Ash?
Mela Ash. Yes,
Like,
I'm a fan of Mela Ash. The lovely Miss Ash is, she's been competing for a good over a decade. As you know, she was originally in women's physique for a good while. Back in 2021, she made the switch to women's bodybuilding. She won her first Olympic qualification. I think it wasn't her first. I think she'd been to Olympia before as a physique competitor, but she made her qualification in women's bodybuilding at the New York Pro back in 2020. She was in the top five that year, which qualified her to compete the next year. Because the year after that, they changed it so there's no longer top five competitors to compete. Now she's originally from the Midwest, but she lives in Texas currently. Last year she did a few shows. She only did the Triple O Dynasty, and she did the Masters O. Didn't do as well at the Master O, and I think she was in the top five at the Triple O. One point, I know she was talking about doing the New York Pro that year, but she didn't do that show. This was her last Olympia performance back in 2020. I think it's 2023. Amazing physique, beautiful body, and she kind of reminds me of a particular lady I was a fan of back in the day, and that is she has that maybe it's the eyes. She reminds me of Vicky Gates.
oh
I
yeah,
can see
yeah.
some similarities. And she just announced that she is planning on doing the Triple O Dynasty again. So we wish her best of luck and see how she does. So, gentlemen, what's your thoughts?
Oh yeah, she's definitely coming back with a vengeance. She has all the tools, has aura. Yeah, what show she does, I'm gonna be rooting for her because she definitely has the winning aura, if you will.
Yeah, yeah. I think she's an amazing lady. I know it was a couple years ago she was in a bad accident after she came back from Romania, and I felt like she should have took that year off, skipped that year. She got in the accident. It was in 2023, right after she came back from Romania. I think she should have took that year as recovery year in 2024, and then made a return in
Hmm.
2025. Because sometimes it's all depending. If it's not too severe accident, you really want to be careful because sometimes your body still needs time to recover. You never know what you're missing. And then she wasn't in the best of shape in both either the Triple O or the Masters Olympia. I felt like she could have been top five at the Masters O or even at the Triple O, but I feel like she just needed more time. Or she could have just maybe did a show like Atlanta um, or Tampa later that year. So, like I said again, as we just heard, and she's confirmed that she is going to be doing the Triple O coming up next weekend in a couple of weeks. So, back to you, Josh. Who is next on our list?
Next on our list, man, she said she's gonna be coming back with a vengeance. She won the 2024 Chicago Pro, made some appearances at the Olympia and the Rising Phoenix. Empire Nation, are you ready to see Sherry Priyami?
Yeah, Sherry Priyami, the lovely Mrs. Priyami, as you know, she's been a pro for quite some time. I had her on my channel a couple of times, interviewed her, and then also she was signed by Bad Rap, a while back to be a sponsor. And Sherry's an amazing lady. Last year she took a step back due to personal issues. She was doing some medical issues. She competed 2024 at Olympia, and she felt like it wasn't her best shape. It was in 2023. She was the top five, but then she dropped down to I think she was sixth or seventh in 2024. As you know, Sherry lives in Florida. She's originally from up north. I think around from I think New York, I believe New York or I think it's New York, or is it New York or New Jersey? I'm trying to remember. She is a dental hygienist. That's what she does for a living. That means she's the lady that goes in your mouth right before the doctor comes in, and the dentist works on you. She's also a mother of three kids. Her eldest daughter is a nun. She officially has been canonized in the church. Was about a couple years ago. She has another son. He is her oldest son. He's right now in college, and her youngest son is right now. He is about to get into high school. Amazing, Larry Sherry. I got them talk with her and her current boyfriend, Mr. Chris Race. Chris was also a competitor for a bit, but now he's focusing on his career, his life. Sherry is an amazing lady, great physique. I'm just like I said, I'm a fan of Sherry Piami.
What she
So
got to
am
work
I.
on?
Hmm?
What she got to work on, like to be like to get her place up.
Well, her last week she competed back in 2024. She did two shows. She did the Portugal Pro and she did Chicago. At Portugal, they told her she wasn't as complete. That was the year that Anastasia, Leonova won that show. With Sherry, Sherry is 50 years old, and I think one thing is that coming from physique, you got to bring up your legs a little more. That's what I say you want to be more complete. But she does have a great look to her, a
You
good
mean
line.
complete?
Well, they want you to
Like
be
what
more
is
fuller.
it?
Well, like one thing is you look at some ladies, like you look at Andrea, that's an example is like set by. She's more wide in the shoulders, more bubbly, in her delts and in her muscle density. Also, her quads are much larger. She's a little bit more even in the bottom as much as the top. With Sherry, she's bigger in the top, but still a little bit small on the bottom, especially look at her legs.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
I
and that's the
can't
thing is,
tell. I really
well,
can't. Like I don't know how y'all could tell, but I really
it,
can't tell.
well, it's something you pay attention to. Like if you look at this picture here, you look how well she's developed at the top. Then you look at her legs; it's still a bit
Yeah,
small.
okay. Maybe the quads that like her quads need to get bigger. That's what.
Yeah, maybe more fuller. That's what they want, more full. And this is especially if you compare women's bodybuilding to women's physique. The ladies can be a little bit bigger in the top, but still you want to be a little smaller and a smaller waist. And that thing is harder when you are much older. It takes more time to put in that size of muscle. Some women they have it genetically, some women don't. But
So why don't
Sherry,
she just move to women's physique?
well, that's where she came from. She was with physique. What's the point in
No,
going
I'm
back
just
down?
saying, like, why don't she just stay in women's physique if that's the
Be-
point? Like, because
well, here's
it
the
don't she
well,
has like that physique of to be in women's physique?
wait, look at women's physique now. Some of those women are just as big as some women bodybuilders. And I think it was
Hmm.
a move because she was getting a lot bigger. And it's hard to
Mm.
maintain. Like you look at someone like Tyler Coelho, she has that small, waist, very well balanced. And you look at someone like Sarah Vilgas, who is, Lee, this is our interview here. Was it a couple years ago?
Grew up in a city, and it just wasn't something that they presented to me. And I started joining the gym when I was in high school, um, mainly just doing cardio and some machine work. Nothing too serious. It wasn't until I met my ex-husband that I started, weightlifting. He got me into that. So he showed me around the gym and taught me how to use the free weights. And so I just really found that my body responded to that. I've tried all the classes and the group things and, all the stuff that most tend to go to first. And it just didn't do anything for me. And then when I started, weight training, my body just started changing, quickly. It was a great opportunity to shed some positive light on the sport and, and show people that, we're real people out in the world and we're upstanding members of society and we're just trying to, do what we love. But
Yeah,
I
that's
think that is what we need in order to, have maybe, companies eventually sponsor us or have other girls that are coming up want to stay in the sport and do the sport because, it makes us relatable. So, to say like, oh, wow, she's a mom of three. She has a job. She can do it. I can do it. I feel more feminine now than I ever have. I think that muscle on a woman is very, to me, very feminine and attractive, and it speaks volumes about who you are as an individual and the kind of mental fortitude that you have. More than just getting this win and going to the Olympia solidified all the time I've spent in the gym and all the time I've spent away from them, and the sacrifices that I've made, for that, to show them that, if you stay consistent and you work towards your goals and you don't give up, that, eventually it pays off, and that's what my middle son said. He was like, I said, aren't you excited? Are you proud of me? And he was like, of course. And he was like, but this is all you do. He was like, I didn't expect anything else from you, than to win. So it's just good that they see that and have that as an example. Like my parents.
Yes, she's an amazing lady. As we're saying again,
Nice.
yeah, I think she was a women's physique for a good while, but then she started to move up to women's bodybuilding because one thing is she is, at the time we did the interview, she was at 48, and she took a couple of years off because it was right after the pandemic when she last competed in 2020. She took a couple of years off, and then she started to grow. She did a couple of shows where we're still doing points, and then she was just close to points qualified. She didn't do one more show, but I remember she telling me that one of her kids got sick. Something happened with them, so she took some time off. She had to be mom before she became a bodybuilder. But that's the thing is that the judges look for certain things when looking at these other ladies. And you want to be more full, more bubbly, especially for divisions. That's why this criteria. The funny thing about the criteria is that it should be the standard for every division, but it's keep changing. They keep changing the goalposts. And again, I'm seeing girls who are in women's physique right now who are a lot bigger than some women in women's bodybuilding.
What if she can't meet
Facts.
that criteria though? I mean, because she like you said, like she was in 6th or 7th place on her last show, and like what she's supposed to what's the next show she's supposed to compete in?
Where she hadn't say what show she's gonna compete in. She might, because she lives in Florida, she might do Tampa. That's close to her, or she might do Atlanta. As you know, this year for the season for women's bodybuilding, the shows are few and far between. She might go overseas like she did last time, maybe try to do Portugal or maybe do Spain. It's all depending which show will probably help her get a qualification. There's Toronto right after Triple O, because also if she wants, she is over 40. She can do masters. She can do the Portugal Pro. We're just exclusively doing masters for all of the divisions, except for when it's open for men's classic and figure. Again, the thing about it is like it's about factors of genetics and size and development. You look at people like Andrea, you look at people like Ashley, or also Lavinia Barros, who's much younger. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
that's the factor. And some women just, no matter what you do, they may not ever get to that level because, again, genetics can come in and time. So shout out to, we appreciate, shout out to Sherry. We wish you the best of luck and can't wait to see her come back.
That's
So,
right.
yeah. So, my man, who's next up on the list?
Ooh, I have a good one, Empire Nation. She made some appearances at the Rising Phoenix, ATO Pro, the Olympia, and her posing routine that makes everybody says, wow. Empire Nation, are you ready to see Silkia Given?
Actually, Salika Givens.
Oh, man. Oh,
But it's
thanks for
Salika.
correcting my man. Yeah, but
Yeah. Shout out to, well, we got some guests here. I hate to neglect you guys. I know you coming here, and shout out to my guests. Shout out to my brother here, Lawrence Perkins says, "Good afternoon, brothers." Good afternoon, brother. To you also. Shout out to Sean McMillan says, "Good afternoon, brothers." All right, he says, "Shout out to my man Lawrence." He says this. He says, "Bela reminds of Kim Buck and Vicky Gates." Yeah, I can see that.
okay.
Yeah, I can see a bit of the Kim Buck. Also, he says, I agree with Josh on that. And Angelio is another favorite as well. Also, we get here from a man, Sean. He says, if Angela doesn't compete this year, look forward to seeing her back on stage next year, bigger and better. Yeah, possibly, And also, we have here from man, Sean says, Mila Ash has a physique that kind of treads the line between WPD and open class. Yeah, because she was in WPD. She actually started figure. Then later she went to women's physique. And also shout out to my man here, Sean. Says Sherry reminds me of Sarah Hayes and Robin Parker. Yeah, I remember Robin Parker. She
Robin
had a great
Parker.
physique. Yeah, she had a great physique. So we're gonna jump in here, and my man just announced Salika Gevin, and
Yeah, I do
Salika.
like her. I
Yeah,
like Salika.
yeah, she has a great physique. She turned pro back in 2022. She got a pro card at Nationals. Then she made a pro debut at the Atlanta Pro in 2023. Did Tampa. She's from Georgia. Amazing lady. I mean, she has a great physique. She kind of reminds me of Heather Foster. She got some mass, but the thing is, she has to work on conditioning. As you know,
Yeah.
last year she won both the Open and Masters at the Triple O, and she took second at the Masters Olympia to Tiana Flex. Tiana, who is from South Africa. But the thing is, if she can bring in her conditioning, she has the size. She has good size, but you want to be tighter, especially she has a beautiful back. She's going to bring in a little conditioned abductors, especially in the abdominal area. If she can come in just a little tighter, and even with her mass, she can do pretty good. She hadn't said, I think she is going to do the triple O because she done it last year. And big question is she doesn't get qualification, because the list I'm seeing, the ladies who are going to be at the show, is going to be really tight for Salika.
Oh yeah. But she definitely has the mass. It's just conditioning that she needs to work on.
Yeah.
Great muscularity overall, though.
Yeah, she has a great look to her. She has a beautiful smile. I just love her complexion. Here she is from the Masters Olympia. As you know, last year, that show, they didn't pay the winners. I was talking to Tiana Flex, who won first place at the show. Jake had to step in and get the winners prize money, and then that promoter was, pretty much he's banned from doing any more shows. Here she is from the Atlanta Pro back in 2024. Actually, 2023. 2023. No, 2024. I'm sorry, 2024. I'm going to give it correct because she looks, again, has a great look to her, great physique, great lines. Again, she has the mass, but just has to come in just a bit tighter.
Yeah, she definitely has that 3D look to her, though. That's what I like.
Yeah, that's what the judges look for. You want that good 3D look, want the good bubbly round muscles. She didn't do too well at the Olympia because I think she was number 12, because as you know, there was only 13 women last year. She was 12th. Possibly if she can make the improvements, coming a little tighter, bringing in, she has great size again. Look how she has, she's a little bit even in the top and the bottom. You see the quads, good size in the top, but has to come in a little tighter and a little bit more conditioning.
Yeah. That's the only downfall of her conditioning, but she'll get there.
Yeah, I think she can get there. I think she has a great, shape and great look to her. I hope she does well. So we have, I think, one more lady left on women's bodybuilding list.
Right.
And
last but not least,
hand it off to my man here.
All right. Last but not least, she made an appearance at the North American Nationals. Shoot. And she even made a little appearance on your podcast, my man.
Yes,
are you ready to?
That.
And she recently earned her pro card last year. Are you ready to see Nina Beans Epperfall?
Yes, Nina Beans. We are a fan of Miss Beans. I appreciate she came
That's
on.
right, Miss Beans.
Weekend. Yeah, Nina Beans. You get a clap for Nina Beans. As you know, Nina is an amazing young lady. Originally from Ghana. And she's been living here for a good part of most of her life, I will say. She's also a flight attendant, or a stewardess, we should say back in the day.
Stewardess.
She also trains and preps herself. She lives in Atlanta. Her coach is a lady I met a while back, Rachel Stucker. Rachel's also IFBB Pro. She does figure. Nina, as you know, got her pro card at the North Americans last year. She did the Linda Murray Classic, which is a regional qualifier, which got her qualified for the North Americans. She made her announcement with my man, shout out to my man David for Female Body Forum, that she's going to be doing the Atlanta Pro because that's right in her backyard. Um,
Nice.
yeah, Nina's an amazing lady. I mean, she has a great look to her. She has good math, good definition. One thing I think is also kind of like with Salika, just got to come in a little tighter, bring condition a little more. And I was rooting for her to after she got a pro card to make her pro debut, and I'm glad she's doing this.
Nice. Yeah. She's definitely got the great muscularity. It's all there. All that
Hmm.
needs to come into conditioning. She'd be set.
Yeah,
Then
let's see.
wherever show she does, I'm gonna be rooting for her.
Well, like I said, I'm a fan of Nina. I think again, she's a lovely lady. Uh, she has a great style to her. Being like I said, she's from Africa, like our man here. His family's from Liberia. She's where is if you're on the map, where if I go to Africa, where is
The West Coast. It's the West Coast of Africa, Ghana. It's the same bracket as Liberia, but it's West Coast. Simple simple geography.
yeah, yeah, yeah? Because I remember she said that there's a difference between there's Ghanaian and Guyanese. And she told me that I'm Ghanaian,
Yeah,
but not Guyanese.
Guyanese. She said it right. Guyanese.
Hmm.
Guyana. The
Guyana.
Guyanese person is they from Guyana. Ghanaian. I didn't even know how what they got what people from Ghana was called, but she said it Guyanian. But when you say Guyanese, they're from Guyana. So she said it right.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that because, like I said, I'm from America. I don't know it's American. So, but she is a impressive young lady. She looks really good. I honestly hope she does well. Maybe even win her first Olympic qualification in Atlanta, or she could do another show. Like I said, there's so few shows. And also this year they're doing invites for the Rising Phoenix for women's bodybuilding. It's not an open show like it was last year, where you just come in and compete to get your Olympic qualification. They changed it back to a regular invitation. So I hope she gets invited. We also, a shout to my man, we also have one more, what we call this the sixth man. If you ever watch basketball, there's a sixth man where, they tell you, hey, you're like, even though it's most time you play on the court, it's five, but then your kind of man is kind of like the sixth man. He's a reservist. So it's one lady who's been a guest on my channel, and I appreciate her. She just got Olympic qualification last year, her first, and being the first person from South Africa. And I'm handing off to my man Josh.
We talking about my man. You said you got six women.
Yeah, the sixth woman. Uh, That is Tiana Flex.
Oh.
Yeah,
you
yes. So
you head out to me. I'm like she's not on the list. Hey.
yeah. Well, like I said, I just popped this. You know what? Tiana's an amazing lady, and I gotta give her a shout out. I'm hoping she does compete this year. Not certain yet because she looked really good in the last competition. She was also in the top 10 at the Olympia last year for women's bodybuilding, being the first woman from South Africa. As you know, Tiana actually competed in another federation back in the day, which was the WBFF, which was the bodybuilding federation that's like fashion, stuff like that. Then she switched
Mhm.
over to NPC, and then she turned pro in women's physique originally, and then a couple of times competing in women's physique, she made the switch a little bit after last year to women's bodybuilding. Here she is. She is now the current Master Olympia women's bodybuilding champion.
All right.
And this is a title that's coming back around in 2027. So the question is, will we see Tiana compete? I mean, she's an amazing lady. Shout out to her husband. I know his name, Tony Flex. Tony's a great guy. He's always posting, very inspirational stuff.
Hmm.
Tiana also, she competed at the Triple O last year, where she got second to Salika. And she looked really good. She and then her Salika went head to head for the Masters old title.
Oh, nice. I remember that.
Yeah, yeah. So she's our sixth woman. I hope she does make the announcement. And maybe we see her compete. So few shows, four qualifications overseas. She might try to do. She was one year she was going to do Portugal, but then she dropped out because of some stuff happened. She might try to do Spain, or she might wait and do a show later, like there's a show in Germany, which is also qualification for I think 2027 Olympia. So we have your comment. Shout out to my man. Uh, Sean, he says, Salika Given is Vicky Gates' eh, stick. I says to you, you know, I see her more like, again, more like Heather Foster than I do see her as Vicky Gates. Because, Vicky was more very slender. She's very
Yeah.
more bubbly, more muscular. I see her more like Heather Foster than I see her as Vicky Gates. But shout out to me and Sean. So we are moving for women's bodybuilding to WPD. And we have some amazing ladies who I follow. Uh, One young lady, I actually got to meet her when I was in Tampa, and she is. Can you believe it? She's just in her mid-20s? I think she'll be 26
Oh wow.
this year, and that is Paula Ranta. And Paula,
Nice.
shout out. So, shout out to my man here as he will make the announcement. Just got too excited.
Okay. All right. This how it's done. No, I did that Empire Nation because last year she did a total of 10 shows. She's like the female Terminator. Are you ready to see Paula Ranta?
Yeah, Paula,
You like that? Like,
you got my man dying here. You got my man dying. But Paula, as I said again, I saw we did an interview with the Female Bible channel. Shout her out. She's originally from Finland, but she's currently with her husband. They're living in Dubai. Paula, as I said again, she's just in her mid-20s. She's still young. And originally she was figure when she turned pro. And she's been. I mean, I remember when she made her debut back in 2024. She did a bunch of shows. I think she did like 8 shows 1 year,
something like that.
and yeah, and then she did at least about counting Olympia, at least near 10, because she did Texas, she did Tampa, I believe she did Romania at the end of the year. She did, I think, she did the Ultima Classic, and she did Omaha. And I'm trying to remember two more she did. But look at this girl. I mean, just about 26.
Look at
And
that.
her physique is just
Mm-mm-mm.
crazy. She's just, it's just a sign of youth. But I hope she doesn't burn herself out too soon.
Yeah.
You know, maybe, she's still growing because, when she did her first show in Women's Physique, that was in 2024, she was up giving an interview named Sandra. Sandra won the show, got a qualification that year in 2024, and she took second. And then she bounced out a couple more shows where she didn't do as good. She was maybe the top five. I remember she was at the Arizona Pro, which is part of the Rising Phoenix, where I think she was fourth or fifth. And that was a show that one lady I would follow won that show. But she's a young woman. She has a lot of potential.
Oh yeah. She still got a lot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What y'all think?
Ah man,
Um,
she's definitely got.
I see her on Instagram, and yeah, she that's a astonishing physique. You know,
Yeah, conditions is crazy. I mean, and we're about to say, Josh.
Yeah, she's definitely got all the tools to win a contest, and she puts in the work 100%.
Yeah. Well, I remember she was with Nasir Harrison. He coaches a lot of women. But then after her last show, she switched to Nasir, went to a new coach. And then she won Chicago. And then she did Tampa right after that. You know, amazing young lady. Again, I can't say much about it. She's followed my content, and she just
Got a
crazy.
question though.
Hmm.
Now, go ahead, finish
Go
what
ahead,
you're
go ahead.
saying.
Go ahead because I just say
Now,
some crazy.
a thought came to me because we was discussing about Sherry Priami. What would be like the difference between her and Sherry Priami? If,
Well, you can really see it here if you look at it. Like like her with Paula, she's half of Sherry's age, meaning she hadn't reached that muscle maturity just yet. How one lady I know called her, she still have baby muscles. If you look at Sherry, and also Paula is a big girl. Paula is like 5'8". She's tall.
Yeah.
And the taller women, it takes more to put on size compared to like if you look at Sherry, Sherry look about maybe she may be about 5'3", maybe 5'4". You know, that's
oh,
within the
that's
range.
how she tall she is.
Yeah, that's because you look at these ladies, you don't realize if you see in person, they're not as big as some as you think are. But Paula is a big girl. You know, she's from Finland. Those Finland women, those women from Scandinavian countries, they are huge. They're tall. You look at
Hmm.
one lady I know. You look at someone like Julia Foray. She's from Switzerland. You know, and you look at some other ladies from that part of the world. That's the thing with Paula. She's young, and that's a big difference because she's still growing and developing. You know, because you got to think about it. She's 25, and at 25, your body's still changing. You say like you're still in your prime. But then when you hit closer to your 30s and your 40s, you slow down. You know, you can put on a little more size. She's still burning because her body's still growing. And and most
Okay,
ladies,
but
yeah.
I'm trying to understand. Like, look, you're saying she's growing, but like, what if they was on a stage together? So it's impossible for them to compete. That's what you're
Well,
saying.
like I said, Paula still, like I said, she doesn't have the aesthetics for women's bodybuilding. She does. She looks like this when you in off season, but then when these ladies strip down the extra layers of fluff they put on, it's a different look. I even one point there was talk about I think she was talking about maybe moving over women's bodybuilding, but even though she might have somewhat the size, you got to think of it. You put her against someone like Andrea, or even someone like Ashley, or even someone like there's a I think there's a picture of her standing with Angela Yo. She's still going to be small comparison. You know,
No.
yeah, it's she. Like I said, she's still young, and many of the ladies who are competing in women's bodybuilding are in their 40s and 50s, much older. They put on size and much maturity because their bodies have slowed down. They can put on the size a little more because her body's still raging. It's still energy. When you were 25, what were you doing all day, all night? You can run all day, run all night.
Hmm.
But
But
so do they always like for the Miss Olympia chicks that they got to be in their 40s to just be like competing against each other because they're big. That's
no, 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 happy 40s. It's just about the look and size and conditioning. There's like I think the right now I think Paula probably the youngest Olympian right now in her division. The youngest in women's bodybuilding is probably Hunter because Hunter is like in her. I think Hunter's 31, 32. Hunter Henderson.
Hmm.
You know,
okay.
um, many ladies that's because that's when they hit their muscle maturity. The years of training, dieting, lifting. It's a process and
Yeah.
it's growing. If you see one lady in one point of her career, how she changes over time. And then like with Andrea, you remember she talked about how she took a step back from bodybuilding for a good while. And she came back and then she changed and evolved, you know. And it's also genetics kicked into a factor. And again, I mentioned again that Paula is a much taller competitor and she's not going to really put on that more size because it's going to take more time. Like one lady who I know who is also a tall competitor is Tina, and Tina is in her 40s, and it took a long time to put on that size because she's a much taller woman, but it takes a lot longer because and as again your body is still growing, developing, you're still burning energy. You can, like I said, you have the energy to run all day, all night when you're in your 20s,
Hmm.
but then we start hitting your 30s and your 40s. That's when you slow down, and your metabolism slows down. That's when you can put on the size because your metabolism is slowing down a bit. You can put on the mass, you can put on the muscle. It's just a process. There's a lot of things. So like some stuff that I've listened to other people and told me and explained to me, but it's just it gets it's sometimes it's just
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get you. I got you.
yeah. So who's next on the list, Josh?
Ooh. Empire Nation. She's known for her long blonde hair. She made some appearances at the Texas Pro last year, the Olympia, and she's savvy on stage. Empire Nation. Are you ready to see Brittany Herrera?
Yes, Empire Nation, Brittany Herrera, or better known as Brittany Flex, Brittany Watts, but she
Oh
goes
yeah,
by her.
Brittany Flex. Yeah.
And Brittany is, she also competed with Paula at the Texas Pro, where it was $15,000, and it was down between Paula and I'm sorry, Paula and
Trophy and the all-important ticket to the 2025 Women's Physique Olympia to our winner, Brittany Herrera.
Amazing Lady was there also. Shout out to Marika Jones. She competed at that show. She competed 2 shows back to back that weekend. She did the Texas Pro and Tupelo. She did Tupelo first and drove all the way from Mississippi to Texas. And but Brittany is amazing lady. She's been Olympian before. She's been qualified back in 2020. I think it was her first Olympia.
Yeah.
Took some time off, to rest, to grow. She's just a massive lady. I mean, I could see her. If you look at it, she could slightly probably do women's bodybuilding. But again, once you strip off that extra size, and you come in conditioning, it's going to be a different look compared to what you see on stage now in women's bodybuilding.
Yeah, so I'm gonna break out, Empire Nation. I'll see y'all later.
All right, appreciate it, brother. Appreciate you coming through.
All
But
right.
like I said, shout out to our man KL the Wanderer. He came through. Appreciate him. Thank you for your time. But Brittany has grown over the years. She took a few years off. I think she last competed back in, I think it was 2021, 2022. And she's really has put aside. And also she changed some things about her, because before she didn't have certain accoutrements. But after getting her qualification in Chicago, Texas, she did the Atlanta Pro, but she didn't, win that show. Was it? I think she did. She did Texas. Then she did Atlanta, where she took second to Megan, Santa Barbara.
Yep.
And she was in the top 5. She took 4th, which was a seat that was held by Barbara Majan for the past couple of years. Yes, Barbara Majan made her retirement last year. But Brittany has a great look to her. Good mass, good size.
Yep, she do.
Yeah, I mean, if she ever do women's bodybuilding, I would say she need to be a little more even in the bottom, because she's really, really full and detailed at the top.
She needs a little bit more mass.
Yeah, she's
being a women's bodybuilder. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing is that mass is very important in that division compared to
it is
women's physique, because you want that fullness, you want that roundness in the shoulders and the muscle bellies, and you want to be more even as much as in the bottom as much as the top. Here she is. I think this was recently. She was at the Arnold Classic. I don't care much about the Arnold Classic. Some people still go because it's the biggest event of the first of the year for bodybuilding.
Oh yeah.
But we all know he has no love for women with muscle, other than he's because he does the amateurs because amateurs are something to make money, because Shout out here, we got our guests here. Shout out to Last Man Standing. He says the best women's bodybuilders are in their late 30s, early 40s. Muscle maturity is key. Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
And shout out to the man here. He says Kale looks bored. Well, like I said, he really got into it later on because especially we recognize some of the ladies. Again, my brother, he's not a fan as much of the sport, but he's more a fan of women with muscle. But that's why I have him on here so he can teach him a little something. So when he does interviews and we touch these ladies, he gets some knowledge that helps him on his channel. So next up on the list, my friend, you are the announcer.
All right, Empire Nation. This woman's really been making her presence known on Instagram. Story after post. Made some appearances at the Pro. She made an appearance at the Arnold Classic a few years back. In the Olympia. Empire Nation. Are you ready to see Yulia Blazacheva?
Yulia is, originally from Russia, but she lives in Dubai now. Yulia has been pro for about 3 years or so. I remember she made her pro debut at the Romania Muscle Fest. She's been to Olympia. She got a qualification at the Portugal Pro last year. She was maybe 10th or 11th. Amazing lady. I've been following her. This was from I think it was back in 2022 when she competed at the Arnold UK Classic, because that was the year they had women's physique. I don't think I don't think you have it this year because it's no longer the same. It was two bros that was running that show, but now they switched to another promoter. Yulia, her physique is wow. It is wow. And I saw that she is possibly coming to the States. She might do the New York Pro. So, her conditioning is just phenomenal.
I mean, look at that. Woo-wee. Those hamstrings.
Great connection to hamstrings and tie-ins. Mm-hmm. But also, as to quote the other guy, she is beautiful. I think something about some of these ladies from, Scandinavian countries, Eastern Europe, they have a particular look to them. She has some good mass. I can see her maybe squeezing into women's bodybuilding. This is somebody.
She's almost there.
She's almost there. I think she has a lot of potential to grow. This is from she was at the Olympia. She like I said, she didn't crack the top 10 at the show. I believe. But she has, again, great muscle, great development. She also was under Nasir, and she left Nasir some time ago. She's now with a new coach. So I think that new coach is really doing some good work with her.
Oh, yeah. He's doing a phenomenal job for her coaches.
Yeah. And again, like I said, she has that great aesthetic. I think she's still maybe a little wide in the waist if you compare it to someone like Natalia, or you compare it to someone like Sarah and even Zamabenta. She got a good amount of size and mass.
Oh, yes, she certainly does.
Yeah. But like I said, again, she just has a great look to her. I think, she has that muscle. I'll say I did a video just recently with her and Susan Graham, and she does have that, as I call it, flex and sex appeal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we have here another lady who I follow. I actually got to meet her when I was in Tampa this past summer. She has been competing for quite some time. She's been, in the game. Amazing lady, great stature. So I'm ahead to my man, the announcer.
Oh, man. Her posing routine deserve This Is Awesome chant. She's even an overall winner at the 2020 Olympia qualification at the New York Pro. Are you ready to see Rachel Daniels?
Rachel Daniels, aka
the real Lois Lane.
Yes, Rachel. I got to meet her while I was in Tampa. One of her clients was competing there, and that was Keisha Oliver. Keisha won.
Yeah, Keisha Oliver.
Keisha won the over 40 show class at the Tampa Bay Pro. She has a great pose, a great style. She's been a pro since a good part. I think she turned pro in 2022, and then she made her pro debut the same year.
Yeah.
She's been twice to Olympia. She did qualify last year when she won at the Ultimate Classic, but then some stuff happened, some issues she's going through,
Yeah.
some mental health issues. She could step back. This was from the Pittsburgh Pro, which took second to Tag Waho. She's a great posing coach, great style. I've heard different stories about her from different people. Everybody has their grievances with her. Some have their fondness of her. She lives in Florida. She was living in Texas for a good bit, but she moved back to Florida. And there was a situation where it was a little bit around, I think around after her last Olympia, where she was going through divorce, and then she was a victim of a dog attack.
Yeah, that sucked.
Yeah, but she's a great poser, great look to her. I think some of the ladies I know have discussion that could she do women's bodybuilding? Possibly not.
Yeah, possible.
Yeah, that's the debate because she's still a bit, I think, a bit on the small size, and her conditioning is one thing. Maybe I think the person I will compare her closer to, if she had put on more size, is maybe Michaela Aycock.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the one
But she
thing.
definitely has.
Go ahead.
I said she definitely has great physique and great posing.
Yeah, and that's the thing is posing is very important. She's very artistic, very stylish. Just a passionate young lady. I'm a fan of Rachel. I think I would love to maybe one of these days have her on my channel and do an interview. Get her thoughts on the sport. Here she is, kind of dressed up like somebody posted this. Some guy talking about his ick about women, and she looks like the mother from The Incredibles. Yeah, it's a great suit. She has a great style to her.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, like I said again, she's just really that girl. She's really focused. She's really intense. I remember I was walking. She's a real Lois Lane. I was wearing my Superman shirt, the black one, and we kind of touched. Kind of like did like a little, touch of the pinkies.
Yeah.
But I think question is, will we see her compete this year? Maybe.
I'm not sure.
We think so. You're not sure?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I do like surprises. Though I like to be surprised. I'll be like, hey, shout out to her. But mental health does. You do got to stay on that. It's very important.
Yeah, it's important to take care of your mind as much as your body. The mind keeps the body going, and I hope she does. As a fan, I would like to see her.
Just like Ava Milo at the type. Yeah, that coming by surprise. But
Ava, she has potential. I think if she's a big girl.
And,
and just got like I said, got to come in a little tighter and also better condition. That's the things. Yeah. So we have one more lady, and you can, as you are the announcer, you can announce it.
She earned her pro card in 2015. Empire Nation, are you ready to see the beautiful Brooke Walker?
Brooke Walker, I am a fan of
Brooke Walker.
I think she got married some time ago. She still used to Walker as a middle name. It's that style, Brooke Walker Latham. Latham, I think, that's the new name.
Yeah, I don't know how to say it. Latham.
Yeah, Latham, I think Latham. Brooke has been a multiple-time Olympian. Her last Olympia was back in 2023. She took 2024 off. I think she was at the point of her getting married. She came back and competed last year. But then circumstances just like with Rachel happened. She won her qualification at Tupelo last year, and whatever issues, she took a step back. Always loved her physique, love her look. Recently, I saw she also added some new accoutrements to her physique. You know, I personally like it before. I understand some women get it because they make them
Yeah, I
feel
liked
more
it
feminine,
before.
but I think she had a great look. To me, I think she should have won Miss Olympia in 2022 for physique division. The Miss Universe
Yeah,
for physique division. I think she
she
had a great
definitely
look
has a
to her.
physique look.
Yeah, very great look to her. Very, I think, girl next door. Very appealing. I mean, if this is
Hmm.
what most definitely, if you, this is what they want to see. She's also a coach. I This is one of her clients, a lady who I interviewed a while back, and she just got a pro card last year. That's Christina Sutton, and who's the pro now. She does a lot of backstage work for the Midwest shows because she lives in. I think she lives in Missouri. I think she lives in Missouri, I
Hmm.
believe.
Missouri native,
Um,
I think.
yeah, Missouri. This is where she was last year at the Tupelo Pros. You know, that show is not on the list, you know, because they those the original promoters are backed away from it. They're supposed to be a new promoter, but whatever happened didn't
Oh.
work out with them.
Hmm.
You know, we were looking forward to see Brooke compete on the stage, but again,
Yeah, I was looking
mental
forward to
health.
it.
Yeah, mental health took a call up. She took his back seat. Here she is with her husband. I think they've been together for quite some time. You know, it's good to have somebody who supports your passion for bodybuilding, who loves you for you. You know,
Hmm.
but Brooke is a lovely lady. I'm a fan of Brooke. I think she has great overall physique, great lines. I mean, amazing. I will honestly say femininity that you really want to look forward to. You look at someone like Brooke, you say to yourself, "This is a beautiful woman."
Exactly.
Yeah. So, so
Great abs too. Look.
great abs, great overall physique. I think I'm a big fan of Brooke.
Hmm.
I hope she does make a return. Maybe she might do another show in the Midwest. There's Texas Pro. There's also the Shreveport. The Ultima Classic. It's
Hmm.
all depending. So I started like dealing with bodybuilding.